Hi, Charlie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Nice. I'm perfect. First, I need to ask a Zoom question, and then that's it. Why Michaela Puth? Who's Michaela?
Michaela is... Oh, yeah, that's right. That's my sister. I'm using her computer.
Okay, perfect.
I don't have a laptop right now.
You know, these Zoom interviews are like a new family of information in your life. I mean, I can see things that before I couldn't.
I know. You now know my sister's name. You know what my house looks like. It's a new day and age.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of intrusive, and that's one of the things that I wanted to talk to you. First of all, congratulations on Light Switch. It seems to be doing pretty good, and people like it, and the numbers are amazing.
Yeah, I'm super happy it's resonating with people because it is a weird song. That's for sure.
And it's also weird the way you released it. I mean, you started giving away like little pieces on TikTok. Why did you decide to do it that way and not just surprising everyone with the song?
I'm always trying to think of new ways to do things in general. And it had also just been so long since I put out a song, and I think people started to not believe me when I said that I was working on new music. So I figured, why not just document me making the song as a little bit of a holdover? Because I just don't think artists should be so secretive nowadays. When there's 70,000 songs coming out every day, you should just share your process and share your life with everybody.
Yeah, that's a strange thing, right? Before I remember that maybe an artist would wait and hold the secret and maybe release like little images or snaps from being in the studio, and everything was so dark. And now I don't know if someone values that anymore.
I don't think so. I don't think so, because there's really the day and age of like people waiting 2 hours outside of a record store to get an album. I mean, that may exist with physical pieces of special released items like vinyl, but music has always supposed to been like, I remember when there were certain artists getting mad that their music had leaked on Napster in 1999. I always thought, why are you getting mad? More people are listening to you than ever right now. I mean, one situation has to be figured out, but I don't know. More people are going to listen to you. More people are going to buy tickets to your shows. Make your shows more expensive.
Yeah, well, what you're telling is that there was like this bridge in two philosophies in that moment. I mean, I think you referred to the main event that was Metallica versus Napster and everything that came after that. Yeah, they took the flag, but there were a lot of them. And I wanted to ask you that because I mean, you're a huge artist, you have great numbers, Spotify must do well for you, but there's a lot of complaints about smaller artists, and also you're a producer, so you know them and you talk to them, that's the distribution of revenue is not so equitative in the nowadays market.
I'd happen to agree with that. It is a little atrocious as to how different, how you can get paid you can make 1 million streams happen and get paid not even anything close to that. I mean, it's better than it was a couple of years ago, but it's still not completely there yet. And for smaller artists, when, they're relying on that revenue to continue to make product and put it out, it's not the most encouraging thing. But I mean, that's not just for one DSP, maybe that's for kind of everything as how music is released right now. It is still amazing that the visibility that you get from these from all of these DSPs. So I don't know, but I like to see the good in everything.
Of course. Well, I kind of find funny. Let's talk again about Light Switch. The video was amazing. There's a lot of stuff to talk about that video. First of all, I'd like to ask you, how do you see yourself as a pop star? It's not so usual that you find someone that's eager to laugh at himself that way and to put himself in ridiculous and funny situations. Sometimes there's like this vibe of solemnity and beauty and perfection around the pop stars. And you're kind of different guy that way.
Yeah, I like to think of myself as the almost anti-artist a bit, where I've tried to be in the past, the very beginning of my career, when I didn't even know how to be an artist, which in terms is just being myself. I didn't know that. I wish I knew that in the beginning. I thought you had to be super secretive and hide yourself away in the studio and be mysterious. That certainly works for other artists, even artists out right now, but it's never worked for me because I make songs off of people's reactions. I've always been obsessed with how people have an emotional response to music, and I like how if you turn up a snare drum just 2 decibels louder, how that could make or break people's like yearn to listen to the song over and over again. It's just small, minute details that you can't really. Sorry, my dad's calling my sister.
No problem. You see, Zoom interviews.
Yeah, Zoom interviews. You know that I have a dad that's calling my sister right now.
You can put him online. We can chat with him too. It's okay.
No, you don't want to chat with him. He's not very musical. But what I was saying is just I'm in the business of oversharing right now. I would have never made Light Switch if it weren't in front of if I didn't have the millions of people that discovered me making the song right then and there. I wouldn't have discovered that. So that song, this was such a strange song, really.
Well, you had the choice in a moment. I mean, you're a producer, you're a musician, you're a performer. You had the choice of only being a producer and being like in a comfort zone of anonymousness and not putting your life out there and maybe having to make that decision. And you chose both sides. You are both a producer and you can work behind your computer in a quietness, and also a performer, and you put yourself out on the line.
I wouldn't have it any other way. Because all I'm here to do is inspire people. I know that sounds kind of corny. Like I none of this I do for my own ego. I want people, musicians and non-musicians, that like to listen to Light Switch and be like, oh, Charlie made a song that's 184 BPMs, and I want to make one that's 190, and I want to use sound effect, and I want to be creative in this way that he wouldn't have thought of. It's just to kind of push things along. I don't make cool sounding music to appear to be more cool. I'm a dork. I was reflecting while seeing the video. Another thing that maybe doesn't have to do with the lyrics, but it has to do with the video. That's you kind of show some problem that is right now out there about the new masculinities. You know, this guy that does everything that expected of him to get the girl. He gets in shape, he looks beautiful, he cuts his hair, he shaves, he does everything the society expects from him in order to get the girl back. But anyway, he loses, and he loses to another guy that is different from what society expects when you say beautiful in a common and canonic way. That was intentional? It was totally intentional. It's the video, to answer the first part, is just meant to be carefree and made to be watched over and over again and just entertaining alongside the song. And yeah, that underlying message of you don't have to change yourself for somebody. You should just change yourself if you feel it necessary. Because at the end of the video, you saw there she was with somebody who looked exactly like me in the very beginning of the video. And that's like a message that has nothing to do with the song, but just something I've always felt true towards, and just what a perfect opportunity to put it in something that I know would be viewed by a lot of people.
That's great. You know, for a long time, you've been in the top of YouTube charts with See You Again. Then came Despacito, and it's okay. You can compete with Despacito. It's understandable. What do we say to Baby Shark, man? Like, that's a different kind of competition.
I think Baby Shark is a wonderful, like G major, which is what Baby Shark is in, is a lot of children's songs are in major keys, obviously, but G major seems to be a common key because it's 1 sharp and it's a very bright key, and it's repetitive. It's repetitive without being, in my opinion, annoying. And it's very gratifying to listen to. It's kind of it's like Baby Shark is like a musical roller coaster. And I think if your song is a musical roller coaster, people will want to get on the ride and ride it and then get back on it, wait online and then get back on it again. The great thing about a musical roller coaster is that there is no line. You can just press play.
I'm amazed by listening to you talk about music. It's obvious that you're passionate about it. But my question is, do you really see the matrix? When you listen to a song, do you see, what the producer tried to do? Where did he put this or that beat? Where did he introduce this or that change? Do you see it that way?
When I make music, I'm not synesthetic. I don't see colors. Like Pharrell asked me one time if I see green when I play a certain chord. I don't see any colors. I like to just, without sounding too pompous, try and see the future of what, like when I made Stay for Justin Bieber and Kid Laroi, I could, when that one part of the song, I need you to stay, I heard 100,000 people at a festival screaming those lyrics along. I can hear that in my head. And sometimes I'll even adjust the key signature of the song if it's too high and I know that it's going to be too high for some people to reach. I want both, everybody to be able to sing the song perfectly.
And this is kind of a stupid question, but when you see the hit, when you know that a song is going to perform well, or at least you believe it, nobody can know it, but you believe that a song is going to do well and it's going to be a hit, how do you decide to write it for someone else and not record it yourself?
If you set out to do a session, a music writing session, and you say, I need to make a hit, you've already lost. I've never once sat down and said, it's time to make a hit. Light Switch is doing really, really well right now. I don't know what will happen with it. So maybe I'll speak on like a song that that did do very well. I didn't make attention and say, this song is going to be a hit. I just went through something in my life and just put a beat to it, and it happened to resonate with people. I've made songs that haven't been hits or weren't even designed to be hits, more just like in the middle of the album kind of things. And yeah, I just believe if you set out to make a hit, you're going to make something really rigid. We didn't even plan on writing a song when we made Stay. It was just some friends hanging out.
Well, cool friends anyway to write a song with.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Well, before I let you go, I need to ask you if you have listened to some new Argentinian artists or some of the Latin American scene that's exploding right now everywhere.
I have my phone here. Is there anybody that I should listen to in particular?
Well, there are a lot of artists. I don't feel to speak about my personal tastes, but there are some very good people doing rap and trap. You have Duki, you have Was, you have Nicky Nicole just recorded a Tiny Desk session in the US. Nati Peluso. There are a lot of Argentinian very great artists now exporting our talent that hasn't happened a lot in recent history. That's why I asked.
I'm stunningly unaware of a lot of the talent that is. I'm always so impressed with how music in other places is perceived. And like, I remember going to like Brazil for the first time and them not responding to any rap record that was playing it by the DJ booth, but would go crazy here in the States. And I'm just so intrigued to see like what Argentina listens to versus what Sweden listens to. It's all, and how do you kind of make the best of both worlds? And the answer to that is melody. That's why music is so universal. If the melody is good, people will listen to it.
Well, I'll make sure you get a list of artists that we can share with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Charlie.
Thank you. Thanks for the good questions.